Ladies and gentlemen, a shoe rack. We are scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to these videos, aren't we? Or are we? Look at that shape. It's off the ground, it's little pipes, and it's rectangular. What could I possibly do with a shoe rack? Especially when I don't have that many pairs of shoes. Well, I could use it with my shoes if I really wanted to. However, I've got a plan. I mentioned earlier that this patent fan draws too much power, or draws too much current. It's 150 watts in low mode, and I needed to find a lower wattage way to experiment with recirculating the air from closer to the ceiling back down towards the floor. So, we have this. This is the Holmes window fan from the old place. In low mode, this thing only draws... What am I getting my Elmer Fudd face on? This thing only draws 20-something watts in low mode. That would be quite an improvement. We'll have to see if the airflow makes a difference. Let's put that shoe rack together. If the shoe rack doesn't work very well, the fallback plan is to just put something on the drying racks such that the blades spin clockwise. But I'd rather not give up my drying racks if a shoe rack could do the trick. Let's put the shoe rack together and see what this Walmart rubbish looks like. So, that's what it looks like, huh? Smaller than I thought it would be. Smaller than the picture. But, if I happen to get a lot of shoes, that's what it meant by expandable. Well, it does give me some options. Could lift it up and just point the fan downwards. So the question remains, which way do I want to put this fan on that shoe rack in order to blow downward and try and suck some heat back down from up top? Because I'm actually looking at some thermometers over in the living room, and there is a 10-degree difference between closer to the ceiling and closer to the floor. If I can recirculate the heat downward somehow, that would probably do quite a bit for this place. Maybe I can always get another one of these and put another window fan, quote-unquote, on it and do things that way. So, more experimenting coming right up. Well, there it is, the finished product. Nothing too exciting. Definitely nothing too exciting. I wound up putting the thing sideways. Get the flashlight ready. I wound up putting this thing sideways. So we point it straight down at the ground, and hopefully it feels like it's sucking some air down that way, and then blowing it out the bottom. I think I jinxed everything now, because the air that I want to suck down towards the floor is higher up. So I think the minute I mentioned drying rack, especially since I now have a dryer, so I really think that would be a good alternate use for the drying racks, is to put the fan on it, have it blow down towards the floor. So we got this on low mode. Notice the difference in the wattage though. We're down to 40 watts. We're down to 40 watts as opposed to 150. If we turn it up all the way, then we flirt with 60 watts. Can you even see that? Focus! We flirt with 60 watts with this piece of crap, as opposed to what we had going on earlier. Let's take the other window fan. Well, actually, no, let's put it on the drying rack and let's see, put it on the drying rack and let's see what we got with the other window fan. Oh yeah, this makes a heck of a lot more sense. Plus the heat comes out, whoosh, boom, shot right back down towards the floor. It's definitely blowing downwards a bit. Maybe I can try one of these over by the furnace and one of these in the living room, just as an experiment. Because right now there's a 10 to 15 degree difference between the up in the air and down closer to the trim. Because the furnace is a little bit off the ground, so most of the heat comes out a little bit high. So there's no chance for the heat to ever get down towards the floorboards any. Interesting. Let's see what numbers we're dealing with the full-size Holmes window fan and see what we have to play with here. There we go, a Holmes reversible window fan set to exhaust mode, because that's the only way that this can go down that way. We want it to blow downwards, unless we want to flip it over and then have to flip it back in order to turn it on or off. Interestingly enough, this does have a thermostat, so I think it turns on when it's above, though, not below. So What are we looking at for wattage on this pig? I think this might be the better setup. Put this one by the furnace, and then maybe get another one of these or something later on. Because these fans are actually the hardiest window fans that I have, or hardiest any kind of fan that I have. Because I had one of those at my old place. I had it for 10 years, couldn't kill it. Meanwhile, I'd have box fans blowing up every other year. Alright, so in low mode, but we have higher wattage though. 60 watts in low mode. Still nothing compared to the, put it in high mode here. Versus, but there's less of a spread. So high mode is like 73 watts. There we go. So 60 to 70 between high and low for this. But hey, if I would have this going all the time in the summertime, then why not use it for winter type stuff to blow some of this warmer air, or at least create a current of air going back down towards the floor. I don't know. We'll play with it. I have 2 drying racks, so theoretically I could have one of these things going here and another one going in the living room, where there are some noticeable differences between the temperature of the air up top and the air closer to the ground. Or the floor. The things I'll do in order to have something resembling a ceiling fan without an actual ceiling fan. We'll play with this. I have 2 drying racks, and we'll use the shoe rack just for shoes. Speaking of which... yes, that works quite well, actually. And there's another rack underneath for shoes that I don't wear as often. And that thing can still expand a little more. Yeah, we can work with that. Now we just gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this. I don't know where I got 20 watts earlier. I must have gotten the numbers on that other fan mixed up with what ceiling fans do. Nonetheless, this is an experiment worth conducting. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay signing off. Thanks for stopping by.